This is Facebook.
You, your friends, even your mom uses Facebook.
But here's the thing.
Facebook is evil.
Well, okay, it's not spawn of the devil evil, but it's pretty bad.
We know what you're thinking. How is something that is so fun, convenient, and widespread be so evil?
Well, it's a long story. To answer, we have to take you back to the beginning of the Internet.
In simple terms, because that's the only way we can understand it, the structure of the Internet is one that puts the server in the center and the client on the edge, which puts us, the client, in a weakened position.
That means that whenever we want to send something to another computer through the Internet, it has to pass through the central server. The central server then keeps that information in a log.
Logs, in theory, are a good idea. However, the centralized logs are creating a hierarchy that is not beneficial to anybody except for the big companies.
Our information is being kept somewhere that is inaccessible and out of our control.
And this guy knows a lot more about it than we do.
So we built a network out of a communications architecture designed for peering, which we defined in client-server style, which we then defined to be the disempowered client at the edge and the server in the middle. We aggregated processing and storage increasingly in the middle, and we kept the logs, that is, information about the flows of information in the net, in centralized places, far from the human beings who controlled, or at any rate thought they controlled, the operation of the computers that increasingly dominated their lives. This was a recipe for disaster.
So wait, I thought we were talking about social networking. What does this have to do with Facebook?
Everything.
Have you heard of Mark Zuckerberg?
No, not that guy.
That guy.
He has harnessed the flawed structure of the Internet.
When we sign up for Facebook, we are forced to agree to the terms of service. Basically, we're signing away the rights to our information to this guy.
Mr. Zuckerberg has attained an unenviable record. He has done more harm to the human race than anybody else his age.
Our information is then stored in the Facebook server. Forever.
You've probably heard from your mother, don't put your personal information on the interweb. They'll steal your identity and then you'll never get a job.
But the danger is real. Very real.
Take a second to think about what you post on Facebook.
Your birthday, your age, your religious affiliation, your school, sometimes even your location.
And okay, you could lie about all of those things.
But remember that status update saying what movie you were watching or what you had for breakfast? That's never going away.
These things might seem trivial, but once all of this information is aggregated, none of it is.
Facebook starts to assume things about you, your personality, your character, and your life.
And if it's not Facebook making the assumptions, it's whoever can see your profile.
You know that hot girl in your history class that you can't help but to stare at?
You know how when you go home, you obsessively check her Facebook to see what she is doing and who she is talking to and who she is taking pictures with?
Sounds creepy, but we all do it. And you're the only one that knows you're checking her profile, right?
Wrong. So does Facebook.
From this data, they can infer that you like this girl.
But it goes a little further, too.
Example. There was a study conducted a few years ago at MIT that found that simply by looking at tagged photos, friends, and shared interests, closeted homosexuals could be virtually outed even if their profile mentioned nothing about their sexual orientation.
Scary, right?
You can change your privacy settings all you want, but you're never really going to control your information. Not with Facebook.
The fact of the matter is, you having control would be bad for business.
There was no architectural reason, really. Facebook is the web with I keep all the logs. How do you feel about that? It's a terrarium for what it feels like to live in a panopticon built out of web parts. And it shouldn't be allowed. It comes to that. It shouldn't be allowed. That's a very poor way to deliver those services. They are grossly overpriced at spying all the time. They are not technically innovative. They depend upon an architecture subject to misuse. And the business model that supports them is misuse. There isn't any other business model for them. This is bad.
But there is hope.
The technology exists to create a new infrastructure for social networking.
These guys have already developed one, and its name is Diaspora, with the little star thing.
They were inspired by this guy, that guy you heard before.
Diaspora is a social network where you, the user, control your information.
These guys decentralized the server and re-empowered the client.
And Diaspora is also, wait for it, open source, unlike Facebook, meaning that the source code is open and there to download for anyone to edit and modify in order to improve the functionality.
However, Diaspora is not open to the general public yet. But don't worry, we have high hopes for its future.
And we're not the only ones.
They managed to raise this much, when they were only trying to raise this much. That is this much more than they had anticipated.
This shows the growing awareness of the need for a change in social networking that puts the control of information into the client's hands.
The people who donated knew about this problem, and now you do too.
We're not asking you to delete your Facebook account. We didn't. Just be aware of the dangers that Facebook holds.
And go a step further. Spread the word.
Visit joindiaspora.org for more information on the Diaspora project.
When given the chance, join. Invite your friends.
Most importantly, be careful what you put online.
We might not be Facebook creeping on you right now, but this guy could be.